Hello, popcorn junkies. Please don't observe the instruction on my t-shirt. Don't binge at all. But if you do binge, binge responsibly. Take it from me, I'm a recovering alcoholic. 18 years, and addict, 18 years, not bad. Okay guys, if you haven't subscribed, do subscribe. We are this part of the channel reacts to trailers, we do movie reviews. Obviously the film industry, movie industry is incredibly quiet at the moment, what with the writer's strike and the actor's strike. So not lots of new news, but there are still films coming out. They might not be mainstream films, they might not be Hollywood films, but there are still oddities, curios, cult things, all that kind of stuff coming out on the fringes. And you know, anyone who knows the channel, anyone who knows us knows that we are enormous Nicolas Cage fans. I mean, on a spectacular scale, whether it be Mandy, where he's quaffing gallons of vodka before snorting cocaine off the longest chainsaw blade in history, whether it be Colour Out of Space, where he's chopping tomatoes so ferociously that he then stuffs them in a sort of engorging fashion into his mouth before then shooting his blobby kind of wife who's fused with something. You know, whether it be Pig, in which his best friend, a pig, goes missing and he's a celebrity chef and he goes on the rampage and he tries to find it back, or whether it's the unbearable weight of massive talent, in which he plays himself meeting an Uber fan in the form of Pedro Pascal. Sensational comedy, if only to watch him and Pedro Pascal take acid. Well worth the price of the downloadable ticket in and of itself. He was recently in Renfield playing Dracula. He was probably the best thing in that. It was a bit of a miss, I think, that film. But he's batshit crazy. He's odd. He's weird. Whatever he's in, whether it be mainstream or whether it be esoteric, he delivers always a performance that's notable and unforgettable. He is unforgettable, that's for sure. So this is a new film called Dream Scenario, and there's some creative talent at the helm of this film, which I think makes this immediately fascinating. Not only have we got Nick Cage there, but this is directed, interestingly, by a director that no one will have heard of yet, called Kristoffer Borgli. Why should we know who Kristoffer Borgli is? Kristoffer Borgli directed a movie called Sick of Myself that we reviewed on the channel. I'll pop the review up here somewhere. And that was a film about a woman who was so sort of narcissistic and self-obsessed, so wanted to be the centre of attention. It was kind of an indirect critique on this social media age of being about me and wanting to be about me, and sort of her getting so sick of herself. She made herself sick. She sort of chopped bits of herself off in order to be photographed and to be centre of attention, to be in the spotlight and to be the main sort of event, if you like, in her artist friend's life. That was the idea there. Well, this film is also by the same director. Dream Scenario is also by Kristoffer Borgli, but it's also produced by, interestingly, Aster. And Ari Aster obviously has done films like Beau is Afraid, Midsommar, Hereditary. You know, he's an interesting, and he's a sort of, you know, left field filmmaker too. Then you park Nick Cage in the middle of this, and then you have the premise of this. The premise of this is that he plays a character called Paul Matthews, who's a sort of, you know, middle-aged spread, balding kind of professor who never quite got to where he perhaps wanted to get to. But he becomes overnight an instant overnight celebrity, courtesy of him appearing, bizarrely, in everyone's dreams. And so once again, you can see how this indirectly, without necessarily using tech, is a film that could well be about our social media age, about how fame can come to someone, or notoriety or recognition or what have you, can come to someone through not very much, in a sense. So it's going to be interesting to see how this character, this erstwhile character, copes with his newfound fame. You know, people are going to have a sense of him and they're going to know him, but he has no sense of them because he's appearing in their dreams. So this is Dream Scenario, English-speaking film, and it sounds like an interesting film to sit alongside Sick of Myself, which I'm sick to death of myself, telling everyone I know to go and see it, and they haven't seen it, apart from actually Nanny Di. So without further ado, let's check this out. This is Dream Scenario. Rather wonderfully, it also comes from A24, the production house. So we're kind of almost guaranteed that this is going to be indie with a capital I.
Why does the zebra look the way it does?
So embarrassing.
Hey, focus.
Is this how it went?
No, it's different now. Paul, you've been on my mind recently.
Yeah?
Because you keep popping up in my dreams. You don't do anything, you're just there.
So, this specific person, the remarkable nobody, I'm also gonna have that experience. Do you have a picture?
Have you been dreaming about me?
Have I been dreaming about you?
Yeah. There's like 100 messages. Somebody wants to interview me.
This is strange. Maybe you should take a minute and think before you do anything drastic.
Why me? I don't know. I'm special, I guess.
How does it feel to go viral?
Who's actually had a dream about me?
You're scaring me, Paul. I'm going to have nightmares.
I wish I was the one people were dreaming about.
Me too.
Yeah, no, it's something.
How's he dealing with all this?
We're not even the type of people that like attention, you know?
You think other people are seeing you naked?
Maybe thousands.
I hope I'm behaving through your dreams.
Oh, no, you're not.
So I'm finally cool, huh?
I didn't say that.
You hear that, Janet? She's saying I'm a cool dad.
I really feel like you're playing with fire here.
Dad, please help me!
I'm not actually doing anything to them.
You know, fame can come with some less desirable side effects. You should be prepared for that.
Maybe we should cool this thing off.
What? What do you mean?
It's embarrassing.
Which part?
Guess I'll see you in my dreams.
Yeah. So of course not.
You got to give him credit where credit's due. He doesn't take the most obvious gigs, does he? That looks completely batshit crazy. I was getting all sorts of kind of everything, everywhere, all at once vibes with the kind of the capacity to sort of in a surrealist fashion kind of edit to anywhere and any point, and anything can happen, anything can come into frame. This is something that's very much becoming a bit of a thing now, isn't it? If you think Beau is Afraid, Everything Everywhere All at Once. I'm not talking about multiverses, but the ability, it's multiverse-esque to break the rules of a jump cut. I mean, you can have literally a cut of anything happening with anything. Are we entering a new era of sort of, I don't know, postmodern editing without getting wanky about it? He looks good. I love the fact he's confused. He's odd. I thought even just in that trailer, he played that wonderful sort of turning moment where, having been sort of invisible, if you like, as a middle-aged man, professor, middle of the road, having been invisible for so long, he starts to get a little bit of kind of fame, and that feels nice. Not for any big egotistical reason, but other than, people are noticing me. And then he realizes he's not really in control of the narrative in some people's dreams. And so obviously I feel it's going to take a dark turn, isn't it? Whereas, yes, he has a sort of infamy, but it looks like people have got an infamy, as in so far as, you know, people turn against him. He is perhaps turning up in dreams in not a pleasant way. So I think it's going to be quite psychoanalytical. I think it is going to be nibbling at the edges of fame and notoriety and what it means to be known by everyone, but also to be something different to everyone. I think that's quite a rich thing to explore in modern day society. So I think this film, as well as Sick of Myself, I think clearly already these are two films that make a great double bill. So it'd be interesting to see if it holds together. I mean, sometimes I find I liked Everything Everywhere All at Once, wasn't a fan of Beau is Afraid, and I think one of the problems with that is I'm a big fan of surrealism and non-narrative and breaking up the flow of stories and sort of, you know, eruptions of different reality and all that kind of stuff. But sometimes if it happens too much, there's just a lack of sort of cohesion. I don't want just obvious narrative, but you feel you need something that's pushing you ahead in a meaningful fashion. Maybe that's Nick Cage's performance. Maybe that's going to be his sort of his mediocrity to begin with, his fame, but then his infamy, and then he's trapped, and then he becomes the classic narrative trope of a man in a hole. Different, you've got to give him that. It's different, and that's what we're after, isn't it, in film? Something that's different.